Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, November 2nd, 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is host of PS I Love You, XOXO, aka WWE Superstar, Greg Miller.
Hello, Blessing. How are you?
Doing good. I like the pink shirt.
Thank you. I know it's one of your favorites. I feel like I have the problem right now where I open the door every day to the closet and I see all the collared shirts there, and I feel like I'm just starting to cycle the same six. Because there's ones on there that I didn't love for X, Y, or Z reasons, so now I feel like I'm starting to get
How many times have I told you that I like this shirt?
Every time I wear it.
It's a good shirt.
You're a friend.
Good
you know
shirt.
what I mean?
I also just respect the color pink. I think more men should rock the color pink.
Sure.
Including me. I don't rock the color pink enough.
Why not? What are you afraid of?
Love. I don't know. I just don't have enough colors in my closet is the thing. Like I do have a pink bomber jacket, but it's also just very loud. And when it's 8 a.m. in the morning and I'm getting ready for work, I'm not in a loud mood.
You're not loud enough.
Yeah,
there.
but then I get here and like I get later in the day and I'm like, oh man, I could go for being loud. But already like I'm wearing a great kind of funny shirt and then a black bomber jacket right now. Because that's how I was feeling this morning.
I feel like when you get in here, the energy changes. You know what I mean? I understand 8 in the morning, you're at your closet, you're figuring it out.
Yeah.
But when I opened the door and walked in from cutting my nails in the parking lot about 10 minutes ago, I walked behind you.
This is the second time you've referenced cutting your nails in the parking lot.
I did it. Look at them. They look great.
Are your fingernails just sitting somewhere out on the
Yeah, you not
blacktop?
care about
I go and I no, we've had this is a long conversation from the Kinda Funny podcast, everybody. I go and I cut them down the dirt hill. And so then the earthworms come up and they eat them and I'm part of the ecosystem.
Is that how that works? Is our nails biodegradable?
Yeah.
Okay. I believe that.
Your skin flakes are. Why wouldn't this be? You know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's
They're
all
hard.
cells.
They're
It's all atoms. It's good.
I think in the streets of San Francisco, I'd rather walk by human shit on the sidewalk than just see a pile of Greg's nails.
Well, just don't go roll in the dirt hill. You know what I mean? Why would anyone go to the dirt hill?
Can you imagine just a pile of nails that like fucking just Greg Miller just cut? You just walk by that in the sidewalk. You're like, how these get here? What's going on?
Well, I don't.
In San Francisco,
you know, again, they
the
wouldn't.
Shit is one thing.
They wouldn't be in a nice pile. They wouldn't. Why are you barefoot in the streets of San Francisco?
I don't always have shoes on.
I do it out there because they fly off in all the different directions. So if I'm just putting them all in the dirt hill, I don't have to worry about it. You cut them in the bathroom, you know, one ends up with the shower, the floor, the carpet. You can't keep them all in the same place.
We have talked about this,
right?
Because then I'm like, why don't you just like get the bin and just cut them over the bin like I do?
We have talked about.
But then like your
what I appreciate is like this wasn't even the crazy part of the story. Because I remember this was me. I was walking. The energy's different in the office. Is where we started. Then it was I came in from cutting my nails, and then you stopped me before I could even get to the crazy part. Do you want to hear the crazy part?
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
So when I walked by you, you know, you stand at your desk, right?
Yeah.
And then you have your chair pushed out. So I walked behind you, and I walked by, and the thought I had today, if I'm lying, I'm dying. No, you want Blessing's reaction for this one. I was like, one day him and I are gonna be close enough friends where I can vampire bite him on the neck.
Oh God.
Because I was like, this is a perfect opportunity, but we're not there yet.
How would you think I would respond today if you did that? You would never see me again.
I'm just saying that's where we're gonna get to.
Greg tried to bite him on the neck. He didn't like it. He just never came back in. Because that's exactly how that would go.
We're gonna get there.
We'll get there. I can see that. I don't even think
We'll get there.
I don't know if my closest friends could bite me on the neck.
That's what I was thinking too, because that's how you start extrapolating out, right?
Yeah.
Because that's so intimate. You know what I mean? Because I said it in my head as a joke, because it was one of those of like, I'm walking by, see your neck. I was like, that's a funny thing to say, but I'm not gonna say it. I'll save it for the show. But then I was like, I think chat be cool. You're always cool, chat, right? I think I could do it to Tim. The reaction won't be positive.
Yeah.
It will be, what the fuck are you doing? But I could do, maybe on Extra Life tomorrow, I'll bite him on the neck.
Do you think there's anybody else?
Not like, and again, like I'm not actually biting. It's more of a gumming.
Yeah, it's more of like a little, like, oh.
Like, hold on, give me my one. Give me one. Like,
are you leaving a mark?
Oh, no,
that looks like you're leaving a mark.
No, there's no mark.
Hey, are you using your gums? How the fuck are you?
No, I wrap my lips around my teeth.
Oh, I
Right?
see. I see.
It's not
I
that
see, I
intimate.
see.
Only Jen gets the teeth.
So it's just like a really weird kiss.
Yeah, it's a really weird like kissing Tim on the neck.
It's a really weird
It's a
open mouth
really
kiss.
weird kiss. We'll find out how Tim thinks it is tomorrow.
How do you think Nick responds to it?
See, Nick is a yes and man. He would
turn around.
Initially, he'd be like, oh, and then then he probably would. He's like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And we're off to the races, you know.
I'm trying to think of other people in the office who you might be looking at. Like,
no, that's the line. You know, I do that to Kevin. He throws me through a table, understandably so.
Yeah.
Roger?
No.
I feel
Roger
like
would freeze up in fear.
And I feel like Roger would play along, but then like later in the day,
then he immediately has a meeting with Tim.
yeah, he's like, so Greg like made Greg kissed me on the neck, and I didn't know how to respond. I was scared.
As soon as it's
I was
over,
worried about my job.
as soon
Greg
as
is
it's
like Lizzo, where all the employees are like, I didn't know what to do. Like I felt pressured.
As soon as it's over, Roger's like, "Ha, that's funny," and then immediately slacks Tim. I need to talk to you in the conference room.
We need to do something about this. God, I feel like Mike would respond well to it.
Whoa! And then be like, whoa! You know, I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, let's see what happens with Tim tomorrow.
All right,
For now,
chat, be cool.
let's talk about today's stories, which include multiple Silent Hill remakes possibly in development. Elden Ring DLC is progressing smoothly and more, because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday live right here on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames and twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, or you can listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kinda Funny Games Daily. Remember, you can use our creator code Kinda Funny on all Epic Store and Epic in-game purchases like Rocket League and Fortnite to help support the channel. To be a part of the show, head to kindafunny.com/KFGD to write in with your questions, squad ups, and more. And remember, patreon.com/kindafunny will get you the show ad-free, plus a bevy of bonus content. What's funny is that like every day when I host KFGD with you or with anybody, right? I start off thinking about what is the preamble conversation going to be.
Oh, yeah?
And usually like I have something prepared,
Sure.
right? And so like I sent myself a link to an IGN article that was like the best Metal Gear Solid boss decided or whatever, because I figured that'd be a pretty fun conversation.
Yeah,
I'm
for
just
sure.
thinking about how like instead of that conversation, we talked about
Biting
who in
coworkers
the
on the neck.
office would be down for you kissing on their neck. We could have had a cool conversation about who's really the best boss in Metal Gear, but I'm happy we went down that route. That's a fun
Who do
one.
they
I
pick?
mean, that's just kind of funny in a nutshell, right there.
Who do you think they picked?
Did they? So without.
So this was an audience tournament. So like they did like matchups between all the different.
So there wasn't like so it's like a bracket we're doing today for PS I Love You.
Yes,
Okay.
but it was like audience poll.
Sure.
Each of these matchups, one of them made it out alive.
Fuck. It's tough because I go for the emotional resonance or mechanics, right?
Mechanically, it should be the end, but I
Yeah,
feel
not
like
gonna
the
be
end
there,
is probably
right.
like made it far, but didn't quite get there.
I think for audience tends to answer emotional.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the boss then.
Yeah.
I would say either the boss or Psycho Mantis. Like or Sniper Wolf. But I don't think
I
you go
think
the
Psycho
boss
Mantis
over
is going to be
Sniper
over
Wolf.
Sniper Wolf. So now there's two different conversations happening. Who's number one, and then Psycho Mantis over Sniper Wolf.
So number one,
Yeah.
the boss.
Job IGN audience. Happy to see you for PS I Love You later.
Oh, apparently did they? I guess I don't understand how this works because like they have here a win percentage, which 85.3 for the boss, but they say the boss won 4,303 out of 5,043 duels, which makes me think: did you pair off all the bosses against all the bosses? Like, how does that work? But anyway, I go through it. Let's see. Number 2, Psycho Mantis. Number 3, The End.
My boy,
Good for y'all.
my old man.
Number 4, Cyborg Ninja. Number 5, Liquid Ocelot. Oh, Liquid Ocelot. That's a good one too.
Again, Liquid Ocelot. I don't hate. Don't get me wrong.
From
but
4?
okay.
But
Yeah,
again,
no,
I
remember.
think that's
and the
more of
different
an emotional
phases
one.
and
Yeah.
like you're fighting shirtless. I remember it.
But I feel like in terms of emotion, I guess the boss is more of like a clean, clear emotion. Like you get what that is. Whereas Liquid Ocelot, that is like the culmination of playing 4 different games, like having all that shit happen. But then you have Sniper Wolf at number 6. I'm down for that. I like this list. This is a good list. Although I don't know if it's messed up that none of the Metal Gears made the top 5. But I guess that's just how Metal Gear Solid goes. Like the better boss fights are with the actual
Yeah. I mean, I think of fighting them and enjoying myself, right? But I wouldn't say they're the best boss fight.
I mean, even if there are a lot of humanoid bosses in Metal Gear that I prefer fighting over the Metal Gears in Metal Gear.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Housekeeping for you. We're in the throes of IGN
Who could
Cross.
snake bite on the neck?
Kind of funny. Snake bite. Cat's been on Gamescast. Stella invaded KFW, and now Ryan and Stella are on the Xcast that went up this morning. You can get it today. Check out Podcast Beyond Cross PS I Love You XOXO tomorrow, or live today on Patreon later, and catch our huge crossover for Extra Life this Friday. Donate now at kindafunny.com/extra life for the big, beautiful kids. Of course, on PS I Love You, we're doing a fun best PS5 game bracket where we've decided on 32 games. We're going through each of the matchups. We're deciding one winner who comes out of it.
And you can have a vote, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, it's going to be me, Bless, Max, and Jada. Guess what? That's an even number. So if we split 2 and 2, we're gonna go to the audience to let them decide which game moves forward in the bracket.
And if you want to get mad right now, the bracket's out. Like, you can go
And
make your
people are
own
pissed
bracket.
about that Spider-Man 2 versus Ragnarok.
Oh
Sorry,
yeah.
everyone.
And again, I did not seed them myself. It is a randomized seed because if I seeded it myself, y'all would get mad anyway.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna let y'all get mad at the computers instead of me. Thanks to your support on Patreon last October, Barrett has made 3 special presentations this year, one on God of War, another on Jedi Fallen Order, and the return of Zelda in review. But he's got one video left to share this year. Let's see what it's about.
It's time.
There you go. For audio listeners, that is Persona in review, where Barrett is playing through and ranking each and every Persona game.
I would not consider it a Persona in review, and I get into that a little bit in the video itself. But yeah, just every Persona game ranked, premiering this Monday over on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames at 2 p.m. Pacific. So come hang out. It'll be a fun time.
It'll be a very fun time. Over on Patreon, a new Kinda Feudy is up right now, featuring the one and only Ryan McCaffrey from IGN. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Jackson.
Okay, we can't just speed past it. Because it's a great episode of Kinda Feudy, number 1. Number 2, it's IGN's chance to respond. Yesterday, of course, we did KFW. In the main event, Joey beat Stella. So that got us, Team Kinda Funny, 1 point for Friday's Showdown. Coming in, we already up 1-0. Can we go up 2-0? Ryan McCaffrey has to beat me and Andy. And then number 3, I have the worst whiff of my life
Oh, yeah.
in Kinda Feudy. Like, so bad that I say the thing and everybody laughs at me and I'm like, I don't understand what's funny about this. And then it turns out I'm a fucking moron.
It is a must-watch episode of Kinda Feudy, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have breakouts from it because it is one of them ones. Shout out to our Patreon producers, Jackson Hampton and Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by BetterHelp, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 8 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Starting with our number 1, Konami's latest earnings results mention Silent Hill Remakes.
What?
Remakes with an S. This is from Tom Ivan at Video Games Chronicle. Konami has potentially suggested that more than one Silent Hill remake is in development. The Japanese publisher revealed plans to revive its long-dormant horror series last October when it announced that brand new games were in the works alongside a Silent Hill 2 remake from developer Bloober Team. Providing an update on its upcoming projects on Thursday as part of its quarterly earnings results, the company stated that Silent Hill remakes were being planned. It said, quote, "As for ongoing efforts, we are working diligently on Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, which faithfully recreates the story, characters, and game design of MGS3, one of the most beloved entries in the Metal Gear series, and updates its graphical style to modern graphics for the current generation, as well as remakes and completely new entries in the Silent Hill series, which gained popularity as a psychological horror game," end quote. While the statement may have been made in error, it could suggest that more than one remake is in development. VGC has contacted Konami for clarification and will update the story when it responds. Greg,
Yes.
does the idea of multiple Silent Hill remakes do anything for you?
Yes, no. I'm not the world's biggest Silent Hill fan. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoyed them back in the day for what they were, but I was never obsessed with them. I never sat around going, oh man, I really miss them. I need more. I'm excited for that fan base. I know how hungry they are. I know how much they want traditional Silent Hill in general. And so giving the shot at, hey, here's what this, it's all great, but it's also like, I feel like Silent Hill is just an IP at this point that you can really go and have fun with and do new things with. So I don't know if you need to worry about a remake, and I don't know for the overwhelming majority of people if Silent Hill 1, Silent Hill 2 are so lauded that they need to be remade, especially how far games and survival horror have come since then. But I'm excited that they're there. I'm excited that at least Konami's doing something again in traditional gaming with something, we talked about for so long, wanting them to come back to these IP. And I'm, of course, more excited for them to continue down that Metal Gear stretch.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's hard to read, like, what was the intention here in terms of remakes versus remake, and if they really meant that they're working on multiple things, and like I don't think it would be surprising if they were working on multiple remakes, because as you go down the line of all the Silent Hill projects they have announced, they're doing a lot of Silent Hill, right? Like their other projects include Silent Hill Townfall, which is being published by Annapurna. They have Silent Hill F, which is like a new story set in 1960s Japan, and then they have Silent Hill Ascension, which just went live this week or started this week. They're trying to double down on Silent Hill.
They're trying to make it a thing, yeah.
They're trying to make it a thing in a way that, like, you know, I think reflects what they're also trying to do with Metal Gear, where they have Metal Gear Solid Delta that's in the works. They have the Metal Gear Solid Collection that just came out, Part 1, Volume 1, and you would hope that Volume 2 comes through with even more versions of the game. When you're remaking, taking it over to the Metal Gear side, because I know more about Metal Gear than Silent Hill, when you remake a Metal Gear Solid 3, you would think that, okay, well, eventually you want to remake Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 1, right? Yeah. Silent Hill 2, I imagine, fan favorite, right? And so if you're going to do that, why not look toward the other ones? For me, it reminds me of what we see Capcom doing with Resident Evil, where they're having their cake and eating it too. Hey, let's make a Resident Evil 2 remake. Well, let's then make a Resident Evil Village, right? Like, let's continue making these first-person, newer Resident Evils while taking the older ones, making them new, and also try all these side things, right? Like, let's make a Resident Evil TV show, multiple TV shows and movies, right? Let's make RE-verse, and like these things that may not all hit. You know, in fact, it seems like a lot of these things aren't hitting, right? But like at least the core mainline things that people really care about, we're able to treat that stuff with care and actually make that something that satisfies people and has them happy. It's really hard to fuck up a remake, and I say that loosely. Yeah. Like if you put in the right resources and if you have the right vision, I think it's kind of harder to fuck it up than doing like a brand new thing, trying to retranslate what a Silent Hill is. You know, I look at Metal Gear Solid Delta, and even for me, where I look at the trailer for Delta and I want to know more about it. You know, I want to know about what the content actually looks like and sounds like, and I want to hear the voice acting. I want to see how you capture even the art style of a Metal Gear Solid, right? And I think a lot of that is wait to be seen. You know, I think there's a lot you can do with like, there's not much you can do to screw that up if you just stick to that original vision. So I think as long as they do that, I imagine that people are going to be happy with the Silent Hill stuff.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. You're talking about a game that's so old and the rose-tinted glasses for it. And I think, you know, even for Metal Gear, I feel like we've come back so many times, even though, yeah, you know, I'm saying I know this is the remake or whatever, right? When we're talking about Delta, but you had the 3DS one, you've had the pachinko machine, we've had, you know, there's so many different touchdowns, let alone sequels, let alone things that have also been lauded. To come back to Silent Hill 2 and have that be the remake of the one everybody thinks of and loves, right? What does that look like? Bloober Team has been a studio that has made a lot of horror games, right? But have they made a great horror game yet? I don't think they have. And I've played a lot of them, and I enjoy their games for the most part. I enjoy what I'm getting out of a Bloober Team game. But are they up to the challenge of remaking Silent Hill 2? Is it just going to be that how frame for frame is it? How moment to moment is it? Like, there's so many questions for it that personally, I'm more excited by the Annapurna thing. Personally, I'm more excited for a new game. I you know, in terms of like, let's see what some creatives could go and have and do something different with it. But again, I also know that there's an audience that isn't looking for that. They do just want what they remember. So, to take us to speculation station for a second, do you think Konami has it? There you go. Do you think Konami has it in them to do a Capcom style run where it is, hey, here are all these bangers. We're bringing back these franchises that you love, quote unquote, bringing them back, right? Like revitalizing, I should say, these franchises that you love. We are on a roll. You know, we have Resident Evil, we have Monster Hunter, we have these things that people are looking forward to. Do you think we can get to a place where Konami becomes peak Konami again, right? We see that run where Castlevania is back and Silent Hill is back and Metal Gear Solid is back and it's all firing on all cylinders? Or is that a lost cause? I don't want to say it's a lost cause. Never count somebody out. Konami just gave us, pretty much a decade here of not giving us any reason to believe in them, pretty much. Right now, they seem to be making the right moves. This is, I think, when we've talked about, hey, I wish Konami would do something with their IP. Now they are, and we're still very much baking the cake, but it seems like they're doing everything we wanted from the ingredients, where it is, hey, yeah, take an IP and give us a remake, give us a new game, give it Annapurna, let's give it to a smaller team and have them do something cool. Let's experiment with it with something like Silent Hill Ascension. You can jump over to Metal Gear, right? Like, yeah, let's remake Snake Eater. Let's put out Metal Gear Solid Delta, see what that's all about. Like, they seem to be trying. They seem to be going. It's just that none of it's out. We haven't played any of it. So it's so hard to sit here and be like, yep, I have all the faith in the world in this company that made a lot of bad decisions before they made this decision. You would hope that this is a sign that, yeah, they understand what they have and they're shaking it up and trying to follow in Capcom's Wake, which would make sense, and you would think, to your point, isn't that hard. It is trying to, like, okay, cool, you already know Metal Gear Solid 3 is an amazing game. You already know Silent Hill 2 is a beloved game. Remake those. Just modernize them. Do these different things, and let's have it go out there and be there. But then this is also the same thing of we just saw the Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 1, right? Where it was, yo, you have put them all together, but you did no TLC to it. And there's actually some problems with it, right? Like, you didn't actually go through and do anything other than package all these games together when you could have taken a very truly special franchise that's been on ice for quite a while and went on ice in the worst way possible. You didn't come in here and do like a documentary toss in there. You didn't actually update the visuals. You didn't do this kind of smoothing texture bullshit that I would understand, but like other people wanted, right? Like, these are just those games again on a modern console.
Yeah.
So it is still like, they don't seem to totally get what they have, but they know they have something. And what are they? Are they using David Hayter in the promotion? And it's like, okay, like, what is actually happening? Nobody knows. But I think there's a better chance than no chance that, yeah, they're not going to fuck this up, that they could be peak Konami again. That's a different conversation. But they could be, hey, we're out here and we're using the IP we have and making games people care about.
Yeah. I hope we get there. Just because I think Konami has the resources. I just don't know if they have the vision and, like, you know, I don't know if they know the steps to take to get us to where they need to be in that way, right? Yeah. I think about the alternate timeline where Konami and Capcom switch places, right? And like Konami is firing on all cylinders, and Capcom is the studio that we're the publisher that we're having this conversation about. Yeah. Where like that would be my almost my preferred timeline, right? I feel like Tim is the one who's benefiting from like seeing Resident Evil and all this stuff, right? Absolutely killing it. But a universe where Metal Gear Solid is fucking thriving right now.
Dude, if we, you and me are such Metal Gear fans. If we could live in the universe right now, where you're talking about the flip of Konami and Capcom, and we were getting cool. Here's a remake of Metal Gear 1. Here's a remake of Metal Gear 2. Here's a remake of Metal Gear 3.
And they're all great.
And in between them, we are adding in new Metal Gear Solid entries. I mean, in this weird world with Kojima, with him signing off, or just in a way that we're not fucking them up and they're actually great and they're different. And like, that'd be amazing. I love that world.
Yeah. And I think what it takes right now for Konami to get there would be some of what they're doing already, right? But I think it would be almost bigger steps of, hey, like, we have Silent Hill, Metal Gear, and Castlevania. We have all these big IP. You know, no offense to Bloober Team and Annapurna, right? Annapurna is huge, right? Bloober Team, they've been doing this well, but let's approach a Sony or have a Sony approach us. Like, I'm sure there are people there that'll be down to have the conversation of, hey, Sony, publish a Silent Hill, publish a Metal Gear, publish a Castlevania, right? Give these to your developers. If you want to do the thing that you've been doing right now where you're partnering with these independent AAA studios like Haven or like Firewalk and all these things, find a studio that's willing to do this and actually make it great and actually like make it thrive for us while, we work on maybe even these smaller projects, right? You don't have to take it away from Looper, but I think there should also be a Silent Hill that's being developed by a top-tier developer. Like, there should be a Metal Gear that's being developed by a top-tier developer. And I'm surprised that that's not the approach.
And again, that's what makes me, do you think this is a return to form or they're doing this thing? I think it's on shaky ground because, again, there's so many times we see games from developers and you're like, oh my God, this was so great, or there was a really great idea here, or da-da-da-da-da. The next thing will be the one that really cranks it up, right? And I have not, as somebody who's played multiple Bloober Team games, I don't see that. Right, I'm not seeing like, oh man, there's just a few steps from greatness. It's like, oh, this is the kind of horror game you make. Okay, and so now you're coming into a anticipated, demanded remake, and the trailer looks great. We were watching it there a second ago from Barrett. Like, it looks fun and it looks scary and it looks Silent Hill 2-ish. Like, are they up to that challenge? Like, if it was, hey, we've partnered with PlayStation and Blue Point's doing the remake, you'd be like, oh my fuck.
It's like, oh man, okay, we're done. Like,
ready to do this. But yeah, this one, it's like, okay, cool. Like, is this going to be a modern take on this that people actually like, or is it going to be something where like, oh, well, all right.
We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see.
Speaking of waiting and seeing, story number 2, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree expansion is proceeding smoothly at FromSoftware. This is Ryan Dinsdale at IGN. Dark Souls and Bloodborne developer FromSoftware has said development on Elden Ring's highly anticipated expansion, Shadow of the Erdtree, is proceeding smoothly. The company was asked what the development status of the expansion was during FromSoftware parent company Kadokawa Corporation's latest financial earnings presentation. Quote, "We're currently working hard on the development of DLC for Elden Ring, but we have not announced a release date at this time," Kadokawa said. It briefly mentioned this in its presentation too, saying development is proceeding smoothly. Shadow of the Erdtree was announced in March as a major expansion coming to Elden Ring, but FromSoftware hasn't indicated any sort of release window despite the game approaching its 2-year anniversary. God, 2 years.
Right.
Insane. A single piece of concept art was released alongside the announcement, but didn't give much away, just showing a character atop a spectral steed looking towards the horizon that featured a dying Erdtree. Kadokawa also said during the investors presentation it was looking to expand the scope of FromSoftware's own publishing, though it's unclear exactly what this means as of yet. A recruiting drive beginning in late October suggested the developer was going through a major expansion too. Greg?
Yeah.
When was the last time you checked out the Fantasy Critic?
I'm on it right now, and I'm finally getting ready to drop Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree.
Is it? It doesn't have an official like date beyond 2023, right?
It doesn't have a date period. Yeah.
Okay, so you can't drop it as like a non.
I can't get away as a non. I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter, right? I don't think I've used all my drops.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, so I think you're
So
fine.
I should be fine, but I've also held out hope that they were going to surprise us and put it out.
Really?
No, I mean, the hope's dwindled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was hanging on, being like, maybe, just maybe.
Maybe it comes out in December.
Maybe they do a Game
was
Awards
like me-
thing, right? Like, I mean,
I love how long you held out, because like for me, Hollow Knight Silk Song was the same situation where I think I got to late September before I was like, okay, this isn't happening.
I'm
not
making
gonna
my
see
drop
this year.
request. I'm officially making my drop request because I got to make some moves here against Janet. You know what I mean?
I think Janet might have this in the bag.
I think it's going to be tight between Greg and Janet, because especially like I think previews for Super Mario RPG came out, and that's something Greg has. So,
I do have that, yeah.
And he's currently in the lead with Star Ocean yesterday and Thirsty Suitors. I
Thirsty
believe.
Suitors. I didn't realize Thirsty Suitors was killing it like that.
Yeah.
The problem is, once I drop Elden Ring, I'll have 2 slots open. Janet has 3. And she has like a Dragon, the Talos Principle 2, and
Which
Persona
reviews
5.
just came
Talos
out.
Principle 2 doing real good right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
The problem is, of course, this is well documented on PSLW XOXO, which of course we're recording live today on Patreon.com. Be the deciding vote, yada yada yada, with the Beyond PSLW crossover. Is that Janet and I are the same person, and the amount of games she outbid me on by like $2. Where like we split the Mario's, where she got Wonder and I got RPG, like because both of us thought nobody else was paying attention, and then Talos Principle, she beat me too. I was like, fuck.
I didn't think to do Talos Principle because I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, this is the Shaq meme of like, I apologize, I didn't know your game. Like,
So now, chat, what I need you to do is tell me what else I have 1 slot open. What's still coming up that's going to get me? I need 20 points. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
man.
I need a big ballin' ass game.
let me tell you
coming
about
up
this
in the-
game called Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora.
The one that everybody was like,
It's all right.
it's Far Cry
Okay.
again.
Yeah, I mean, somebody said Super Mario. Like,
I have
he
Super
already
Mario
has
RPG.
Super Mario. This is the King Kong game. Which I
Bad,
think
these
is
are
already
bad
out.
suggestions.
Isn't that out?
Yeah, it's already out. Everybody's saying Avatar. Jason Drone says the day after. Have you seen this?
No. Oh wait, no, I did. Everybody's popping off about
That's
this
the
other
fake
day.
game.
It's the game that
it's not
nobody
a real
believes is
game.
actually real.
Yeah.
It says
It's
Warhammer
also
Rogue
only early
Trader.
access this year.
I
so.
mean, you could take the chance and do Hollow Knight Silk Song. It's not officially out of 2023 yet. They could do a surprise release. in
Sure,
December.
but here's the but
the
it'd be
Game
like,
Awards.
Yeah,
It's out today.
Yeah, fuck, that would fuck me good because I
Yeah.
was gonna say like I could still bid but I was only sure if they put out a release date for it. You're right. If they do day and date, then yeah.
Somebody says Wave 6 for Mario Kart. I do not think that's allowed. That doesn't get Metacritic.
Are you all wrapped up? Oh, you still a Football Manager?
Yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm not. I shouldn't have let the Starfield thing slide. Because I feel like if I didn't let you get Starfield, then I would have a strong case for second place. I forget what screwed me. There was some game I was expecting to do way better than what it actually did. There was a
Wasn't
couple
it
of games.
something
The
that,
last
like,
case
Mike
of Benedict
said?
Fox
Last case of Benedict
got
Fox
you negative 4 points.
for sure screwed me because Mike told me it was good.
Stray Gods only got 6 points.
Yeah,
Wizard
Stray
with the
Gods,
Gun only got you 5 points.
Wizard with the Gun was the one I was banking on big because that was being published by Devolver Digital. I
Yeah.
feel like Devolver Digital has a really good track record of, oh snap, I wasn't aware of this, and then it ends up being a really good critical success.
Yeah.
And Wizard with the Gun, like I think genre wise, right? Like, you know, it's a survival sim / like shooting game, like run and gun shoot. Like it's a really cool looking game. So I was surprised that didn't do better.
I would say you're probably going to end up in like the 135 to 140.
Yeah,
Football Manager always reviews like that was when I used to do Fantasy Critic League. Like that was always a guaranteed 10 to 15 points at the end of every year.
Yeah. Just saw it. I was hoping that.
Oh, Marshall
a
Plan
few
says,
more.
does anybody have Bluey the video game? That's not a bad pick.
Oh,
That's
there's
not a
also
bad
the
pick.
Spy Family
Unless it's
Anya.
complete trash.
There's the Spy Family Anya video game, Greg, that you could pick up.
Ooh,
Somebody said blessing with the most off the wall picks. I picked Resident Evil 4 remake. And Sea of Stars and Cocoon.
God, Sea of Stars is so good. You should play it.
Last Case of Bandit Fox was the really bad one.
Yeah.
Which again, I'm
It
blaming
looks
Mike
cool.
for.
Like it trailered well and stuff.
Mike
you know?
literally did a preview, and I asked him. I was like, "Hey, was it good?" And he was like, "Oh man, yeah, this game's
Slappy, it's great.
It's great." Screwed me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Elden Ring. I'm happy that it's progressing smoothly. I'm also excited for them expanding FromSoftware. Like, I don't know what that means in terms of, are we going to see more games? Are they going to put out games at a more rapid pace? Are they going to have an even bigger 2-team structure or a 3-team structure? Because right now it seems like they go back and forth between, like, you know, the same team that did Sekiro was the same team that did Armored Core, right? The team that did Elden Ring is a different team. I kind of like that handoff because right now the output from software, even though we look at them and we're like, oh man, the Souls guys, their games do have really good variety, right?
Sure.
Like Armored Core, I think reintroducing that put that in another space of, okay, you can do Souls games, but now you have this game that is way different, you know, still actiony, but it's mech, it's you know, basically a third person shooter when you think about it, right? Like this is a different genre for them. But even when you go to something like Sekiro, it almost feels like a different sort of thing than an Elden Ring or a Bloodborne or a Dark Souls. And so, hell yeah, I'm excited for the future of From. I'm also excited for the future of patreon.com/kindafunny. Over on patreon.com/kindafunny, you can go and you can get the shows ad-free. And speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Do you ever feel like your brain is getting in its own way? I can't even count the amount of nights I lose sleep just because I can't stop thinking and my brain just won't stop talking. It turns out one great way to make those racing thoughts go away is to talk through them. Therapy gives you a great place to do that so you can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace. And it can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist anytime for no additional charge. You can make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/kindafunny today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny. BetterHelp.com/kindafunny.
And we're back. Greg, we talked about the future.
We did.
Let's talk about the past. With
Go
story
back.
number 3. An unreleased PS2 Daredevil game has been leaked online. This is Chris Scullion at Video Games Chronicle. An unreleased PS2 game based on the Marvel Comics character Daredevil has been leaked. Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, was in development for the PS2, Xbox, and PC, but was ultimately canceled because Marvel refused to approve it. However, the near-complete prototype has now been made available on the Hidden Palace site and modified so that players can try it on an emulator or PS2 hardware if they have the means to do so.
Let me dust off my PS2 test unit.
According to the site's history of the game, Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, was going to feature an original story in which the Kingpin had been killed, leading to rival gangs competing in an attempt to take over the city. Playing as Daredevil, players had to fight gang members while grappling walls and using a special Shadow World technique that let them view heat sources. It's said that the game originally started with a modest budget, but this was increased when it emerged that Sony Pictures was making a Daredevil movie in 2003. However, developer 5,000 Feet, reportedly 5,000 FT? I'm going to assume that means feet.
Yeah,
5,000 Feet reportedly found itself stuck between PlayStation and Marvel, who each had very different ideas of what they wanted the game to be like. It's claimed that Sony wanted the game to feature a beat-em-up combat system and a grinding mechanic similar to the Tony Hawk games, something the studio reluctantly added. However, Marvel reportedly refused to approve the game due to Sony's changes, which had made the final product very different to what had originally been pitched to Marvel in the first place. Ultimately, the game was scrapped, with only a separate Daredevil game releasing on the Game Boy Advance instead. Greg, have you ever heard of this?
No.
PS2
And this
Daredevil
looks
game.
fucking rad. This would have been awesome. Hopefully. But I mean, everything you're seeing from this, like, this looks fun. Like, for a PS2 game, obviously. I'm not sitting here going, like, it's 10 out of 10 or anything.
Yeah,
but
put it
like,
out right now.
I mean, you kidding me? Like, this is, I think, you look at this, you remember how fucking cool Daredevil is
Mhm.
and how it's insane right now that we don't have a Daredevil game of some
I was
stuff.
thinking about that.
Like, I don't understand how everybody, and you know how much I love all the games we have in the world right now, but they don't. People looked at Batman, Arkham games, and nobody was like, man, at Marvel games right now, Bill Roseman isn't over there, being like, let's make a scaled down, just do that, but as Daredevil. Like, come on, that'd be awesome.
My thing is I would want a Daredevil game made by Insomniac.
Somebody in the chat was like, Marvel needs to just turn over the reins to Insomniac and let them do anything they want.
Honestly,
And that'd be amazing if Insomniac just blew up, like, fine, fuck it, we're doing all the Marvel games.
Yeah, and
I don't Marvel games.
I don't know how you would do this just in a business sense and logistical sense, but like if you could turn Insomniac into 5 studios and just be like, hey, let's keep the same Insomniac formula, let's keep the same thing, but let's like hire up and we're gonna work on just a Marvel universe, the Marvel Insomniac universe, and have it be the Spider-Man games, Wolverine, Daredevil, right? Like
Fantastic Four,
because I could easily see a Daredevil game in their hands. I think right now in 2023, I don't know who you're giving a Daredevil game to make it work, to make it right.
I mean,
I'm sure they're out there.
The Sifu devs. I forget what that team is.
Yep. Slow clap.
Yeah.
Slow clap. Yeah.
They'd be great at it. Yeah. And that's the thing is, I think we all think not the idea always and understandably is to think so big. Let's go AAA. Let's go whatever, blah, blah, blah. If let's say we're in the room right now with Marvel games, we're lamenting this not happening. And I'm like, why aren't you making one in the Arkham veins? And their response is, well, Daredevil just hasn't hit that level. Daredevil isn't Spider-Man. Daredevil isn't X-Men. Daredevil isn't somebody who's getting movies that everybody wants. Don't get me wrong. I love the show. I love Charlie Cox. There's a thing brewing, but it's not there yet. My response, I think Barrett's, pivot is great of like, cool, give it to Slow Clap. Not every game needs to be an open world 30-hour adventure. Let's do a team up with an indie. Have them go do something cool. You look at what they did with Camouflage and Iron Man VR. You look at what they do with Marvel Snap. Like, Marvel Games isn't afraid to experiment with their IP, and I know that doesn't always lead to success. Mm-hmm. We talk about, Guardians underperforming for what they wanted, but again, that wasn't an experiment. That was saying, let's make a big budget AAA superhero game. And I do want those and I need those, but I would love smaller stuff. Again, I know that we are through it. We are on the other side, really, of review season in terms of Kinda Funny. Obviously, Modern Warfare is still going to turn heads, and there's a bunch of other stuff. But I mean, in terms of we're all playing the same game, I would say right now, one of my most anticipated games the rest of the way through is the Invincible Adam Eve visual novel, where there's the turn-based combat in it and the decision-making. You know how much I just love Invincible. Shout out to the show for coming back.
Out today.
Yeah.
First episode.
I can't fucking wait to just play that game. I want superhero games, and I don't need them all to be this giant thing.
Yeah.
And so, again, I look at something what Ubisoft's doing with Prince of Persia, right, where the remake, of course, wherever the fuck it is on ice, but the 2D, whatever, crazy one we're getting, yes, awesome. Do more of that. Give smaller devs smaller superheroes so they can go off and make cooler ideas. Again, it's my old adage that I know drives some people crazy, and we have long arguments on these shows and in the chat about it. But there are so many talented studios right now, not even barely making it, that are putting out great work that just isn't getting the flowers or players it deserves because it's a new IP and nobody has time for that. Go find people who are doing cool shit and give them cool IP, but let them still do their cool thing.
I mean, for me, I look to Zalavier Nelson, who just put out El Paso elsewhere.
Right.
And that's such a cool game, such a sick game, right? But
I hate El Paso. No.
Yeah, that's my thing is I hate Texas. But that game is dope as hell. And I know for a fact that it's not gonna sell as if it was a Daredevil IP, right? It's an indie game being made by a small team, and it's something that he's putting out into the ether. And it's being received well, right? People really like it. But I play that game, and I could easily see just in terms of tone, just in terms of style, how that would translate well to an IP like Daredevil, right? Or to so many other IPs, right? That game is basically a Max Payne game with a lot of supernatural elements. Give him something to work with, right? In terms of an IP or in terms of a brand or something bigger that is going to put him on that stage, because a lot of these indie developers are proving themselves, right? But it is a thing we talk about all the time, where a lot of these folks are put in situations where I'm gonna take out a mortgage so I can actually finance my game, and actually I'm gonna put in all of my worth and value and financials into making this dream work. And they have the talent, right? And they have the talent, but they often don't have the means, right? They don't have the platform. But a lot of people deserve that platform, and so I'd be
100%.
so down for a Daredevil game that is that.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I'm not trying to take all the developers we love and shoehorn them into IP and stuff. But even when you look at something like Mike Biffle, who's made so many amazing games, right? Thomas Was Alone, obviously his breakout thing. volume, et cetera, and so on. You then get to him doing the John Wick game, John Wick Hex, right? Which I'm not a John Wick guy, so it wasn't my cup of tea. But what I loved about it wasn't just running around third-person shooting, right? It was a strategy John Wick game and doing all these things. And I don't know what the success was in terms of it for the John Wick IP holder for Mike Bithell, but it was the idea of like, wow, that's really rad. Like, again, that's what I want to see people do is experiment with the IP. It doesn't always just need to be like, when you think of this kind of game, when you think of this IP, it should be that kind of game. It should be like, let's experiment with it and do cool things.
Story number 4. We got a Talos Principle 2 review roundup for you. Right now on Metacritic, it is sitting at an 86. On OpenCritic, it's sitting at an 88. Will Borger at IGN gave it an 8 out of 10 and says, puzzles are meant to be solved. Philosophy deals with something that inherently can't be. That the Talos Principle 2 manages to explore both simultaneously is incredibly impressive. There are issues with the difficulty curve in spots, and I wish certain things were more clear, but those complaints pale in comparison to everything the Talos Principle 2 does right. Its puzzles had me saying, quote, I don't know, I really don't know, out loud, one moment, I've been there, one moment, and shouting, I am the smartest man alive, and moments later. Its exploration of philosophy both challenged me and supported my existing beliefs and made me consider new ones while managing to add a heck of a lot of books to my reading list. And perhaps most importantly, its thoughtful, heartfelt, and deeply moving story reaffirmed my faith in people and in what we can accomplish. If we are determined, to quote Tennyson, quote, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield, end quote. Phil Hornshaw at GameSpot gave it a 9 out of 10 and says, expanding and improving on the original in every way, the Talos Principle 2 is a brilliant puzzler that's most compelling during conversations with its characters. And then Dominic Terrison at PC Gamer gave it an 89 out of 100 and says, not just a great sequel, but a thoughtful and human narrative adventure wrapped in a satisfying and beautiful puzzle game. Right, you talk about how we're getting out of review season, right? We're all playing the same thing, and now we're probably gonna spread and do different things. I've been thinking about the games I'm gonna pick up after I'm done with Alan Wake 2, which like, man, I'm so close to the ending now. Like yesterday, I could have finished the game, but I was too tired. But I think I'm gonna finish it either today or tomorrow. But I've been like trying to figure out where do I go from here, because I have a laundry list of games that I want to play. Right, I know I want to do Cocoon. I know I probably want to play through Jason because I know both those games aren't that long. I think for me, the big one that I'm going to have up next is going to be the Talos Principle 2.
Nice.
Just for the idea of, you know, I love puzzle games. We talk about this all the time. What's up, Roger?
Hey, Raj. Roger Picorni, everybody. Of course, you know him from Monday's Games Daily. This is going to sound worse than it is, all right? But hypothetically, if I bit you on the neck like a vampire, what would you do?
I think I would be the shock, right? Of just like, was it Kevin? First one. Was it Kevin? Okay, it's you. I would be like, huh. Okay, did it hurt? No, it didn't hurt. All right, that's funny. I think I would. That'd be funny. Yeah.
He's lying.
Okay, but Roger, this time, think about it not as like a bite on the neck, but like a weird gumming on the neck.
Well, I'm not using teeth.
Because he's not using
It feels more like an open mouth kiss.
He's using it in his lips.
I'm wrapping my lips around my teeth.
All right, I'm less into it. now.
Oh, okay, just teeth.
There you go. There you go.
I like that. I think it's funny. It would be like 15 minutes until it was on Polygon.
Yeah,
like,
15 minutes.
Toxic work environment and kind of funny. CEO biting people.
It'd just be like
I'm in the comments. I'm like, I wrapped my lips around my teeth.
It would be 10 minutes of processing of like, was that okay? I don't think that was okay. I should hit somebody up about this. Who works at Polygon? But yeah, like, you know,
fucking crossplay and Patrick Klepek out there being like, getting reports over here.
But yeah, like, you know, I as people know, I like puzzle games, right? But even more so, I was talking to a friend about this because a friend was like, what kind of games do you like? Like, what do you gravitate to? And I was like, okay, well, I know I like, you know, fast-paced action games. I like difficult games. I really like combat in games. But then also, I started to think about the other types of games that I like.
Sure.
And this is me reflecting on now getting toward the end of Alan Wake 2.
Sure.
And thinking about how much I like games like Nier Automata or like The Forgotten City or like specific kinds of narrative games. I realized that, you know, I like the hard, difficult action games. And then on the other side of the spectrum, I like pretentious ass narratives.
Sure.
Like the more pretentious your story, the more pretentious your writing, the more I'm going to be into it. And I think that's what I'm really vibing with Alan Wake 2 is that this game is so meta and up its own ass that I'm right there with it. And I'm like, yo, yeah, keep Alan Wake just writing the most nonsense narratives possible and like speaking in the most poetic tone and poetic way possible. I'm going to eat all of it up. And Talos Principle 2 strikes me as one of those. It worked for me with The Witness as well, where The Witness is so up its own ass and I'm all about it. Like, yeah, give me get in your bag, like, you know, write all this stuff about philosophy and about what is life and what is meaning and all this stuff. Talos Principle 2, I think I'm in the mood for. Like, I want more of that right now.
When I was waiting, I was surprised I hadn't heard you talk more about this because you liked the first one a lot, right?
I never played the first one.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Okay, I
That's
just
the
know
thing
you're
is-
the puzzle pop.
Yeah,
So
like,
I was like,
it's-
oh, I know he's gonna be.
It's my kind of puzzle game.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I've always, I guess I never realized exactly what Talos Principle was. I think I viewed it more as a walking sim than more of a first-person puzzle game.
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't have. Because yeah, when I looked into it and I started reading descriptions and like I watched a review of the first game, I was like, oh, this is exactly my kind of game. Like, I'm the person that talks about Manifold Garden and Antimatter and The Witness and Superliminal and all these games. Like, I should definitely check out Talos Principle, and so I want to get around to it.
Okay.
I
was confused. I thought for a while, not recently, but up until a few weeks ago, I thought this was Forgotten City because I remember how much you liked that time game that was the Skyrim mod.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I was like, and then I was like, oh, it's the puzzly one.
Yeah.
When like, do you want review codes? I looked at them. I go, no, I don't want this.
No,
You know, I'm not puzzle pop.
of course.
I don't like straight up. Hey, here's just this puzzle, this puzzle.
But even a GameSpot 9 out of 10 isn't doing anything.
No, I know who I am and what I am.
Fair enough. It's fair enough.
The Witness was fun the Witness was fun right up until like I got to like I don't want to do this anymore. All right, I'm thinking way too hard right now. Bye everybody.
Meanwhile, like The Witness with me just had me like
You're drawing.
yeah,
you're
like
doing a
you
thing,
you look at my walls, my bedroom is all.
See,
fucking
you
scribbles all
know
over
me.
there.
Like I love the narrative puzzle. Like a Sam Barlow game. Whew, sit me down with a pen
I
and
was
paper.
gonna list the immortality in
Yeah,
there too.
yeah.
Like the pretentious games that I love.
Imagine if Sam Barlow did some kind of Marvel IP game, superhero thing.
Doctor Strange.
Sure.
Be so down for that. Yeah, like
I mean, I think he could
Strange,
he could do a cool like damage control, right? Like you're trying to get to the heart of whatever mystery of these superheroes did it. So you have this investigating agency that's going through all the investigation footage. Bill Roseman, just hire me away from this fucking place. I'll give you $1 million games.
He says Moon Knight. That'd be pretty cool.
well,
Be down. He said Bless should play the Artful Escape. Not that pretentious. I have standards. Oh, Jessica Jones would be sick. For a Sam
yeah,
Barlow joint.
God, Jessica Jones. You want to talk about another fucking great series?
Oh yeah.
At least season 1. I don't remember if did I watch season 2?
Well,
Who'd you fight in season
I would. There's season 2 was her mom,
I don't think I ever watched them.
and then correct me if I'm wrong. I think season 2 was her mom. Then season 3 was her friend.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not Black Cat.
the Australian
Okay.
actor whose Australian accent slips out every now and then in a role,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get it out of my head. I was like, "You're so Australian or New Zealandish, whatever." I could hear the accent through the American
David Tennant
accent.
was in that first one.
Yeah, he was great.
Launched his career.
He was. Well, I don't know if that's true.
He got Doctor Who afterwards. He
Wait,
was in
really?
Modern War- he was in Call of Duty afterwards.
Wait, I thought he was in Doctor Who before.
No.
Are you fucking with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who?
David Tennant.
Yeah.
Yes, I just admitted to fucking with him. Everybody, I was just trying to get the chat mad. Barrett, sit the fuck back down and pick up your goddamn sonic screwdriver and shove it up your ass.
There you go. There you go.
Damn.
Jessica,
It's not very timey-wimey of you, Greg.
Oh.
Jessica Jones season 1 really good. The other 2 seasons not as good, but still entertaining for me.
Defenders crap.
Defenders trash.
Yeah.
Defenders might be like it was the only one that actually made me mad because Iron Fist going into it, I knew how bad it was. Like people told me, and then I watched it and I was like, okay, this is bad, but like I still was able to get through it. And also season 2 of Iron Fist wasn't as bad, but nobody was gonna watch season 2 because season 1 was so bad.
No.
Defenders offensively bad.
Yeah. Luke Cage season 1 great.
Season 1 great. I never even watched season 2.
Sweet Christmas. Mike
Story number
Coulter,
5.
remember him?
Who?
Mike Coulter. Luke,
Oh, yeah.
Luke Cage.
What else?
He was
going
going to be in Halo. Remember that?
Was he really?
Yeah. I interviewed him about it, and then he got Luke Cage, and he bailed on it, but they kept his likeness. KindaFunny.com/you're wrong.
Really?
I think it was so late that they're like, I gotta keep his fucking likeness, but
You were
I
talking
could,
about in the video
I could be
game.
totally be wrong. I need information on that.
Halo video game, not
Yeah.
Halo.
Yeah, no.
Gotcha. Speaking of TV, story number 5, The Last of Us Season 2 is expected to enter production in early 2024. This is Jordan Moreau at Variety. The Last of Us Season 2 will enter production in early 2024, announced HBO boss Casey Bloys at a press conference Thursday morning. The CEO noted that the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes had delayed production of the hit show's sophomore season. The Last of Us was not on the network's 2024 slate presentation, meaning it could land in 2025 at the earliest. Quote, "We've outlined all of season 2 and are ready to go as soon as the strike ends," Druckmann told Entertainment Weekly. We were told to map out all of season 2, added Mason, and I also wrote and submitted the script for the first episode and sent it to HBO around 10:30 or 10:40 p.m. Right before the WGA strike began. I think it's becoming essentially a near certainty that we won't be able to start filming when we were hoping to start, which is upsetting. We're all raring to go." End quote.
Let's go. Yeah. I'll believe when I see it. The strike's still happening. The actor strike's still going on.
Did they not solve things?
No,
Yeah,
the writer's strike.
There's still negotiations for the actor strike, which feels weird of like him announcing this as like, well, things aren't quite set in stone yet with like a deal with the actors.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Monday CNN update was it appears the actor strike is approaching its final scene. SAG-AFTRA, the union that represents more than 150,000 Hollywood actors, and the AMPTP, the trade group that represents the major studios, have made significant progress in negotiating sessions in recent days, arriving at tentative understandings on key components of the deal, according to people familiar with the matter.
I will say is that SAG has put out like their own messages. I have lost the tweet, but they have said like any reporting from like bigger sites, like take it with a grain of salt, just because like while there's a lot of stuff that's been done, there's still a lot of work to go. So I feel like reporting from major sites might be weird, kind of pressuring to get.
I mean, and
things
to be fair to Mason and Druckmann, the announcement is from HBO boss Casey Bloys, who's then talking to Variety, and the quotes are pulled from Entertainment Weekly. And I'm not sure when the Entertainment Weekly quotes were; those could have been before the strike. But he's saying that he submitted the script 10:40 p.m. right before midnight of the strike. So maybe those are during or right now. But cool, I'm down for more Last of Us. I'm not in a rush for more Last of Us. Also,
Really?
I feel pretty satisfied as of now. I feel I got other shows that I'm watching too.
Sure, but imagine you don't know the story. You know what I mean? If you're just like a Last of Us fan because of HBO, I think you'd be probably ready for it.
Yeah, imagine if I had to wait like 7 years.
Yeah.
Story number 6. Far Cry 6 will no longer receive updates, Ubisoft confirms. This is Chris Scullion at VGC. Ubisoft has announced Far Cry 6 will no longer receive updates. A tweet posted on the official Far Cry account stated that the game's online services would continue, but there will be no further patches. I don't got to read the rest. Do you care about this?
No, not at all. I'm surprised it was still getting stuff, but I mean, good
I'm
for them.
surprised they made an announcement saying they're not like we're done here.
Communication, good for you.
Good for
I
you.
mean, clearly, it's the usual thing of like, you and I aren't paying attention and playing, but clearly other people were and getting all the DLC. That's how it always is for Far Cry. For me, it's always, well, not always. If I enjoy the Far Cry, I'm always like, oh, cool. And I look and like, oh, man, you got the season pass and you're fucking bringing in Rambo and all this weird shit all the time. And I'm like, oh, that'll be interesting. And then by the time that shit drops, I'm never like, I gotta go play. I never play it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Was it Far Cry? Far Cry 5 was the one with the religious
Dragon.
cult.
Yeah, no, 5 was the cult. Yeah, in America.
Yeah, Cold in America. And I remember being so excited for their like post-launch slate of DLC because I gotten super into Far Cry 3 like all of us did. Far Cry 4 I played around half of it and just went, oh, I'm kind of bored, I don't need to do this. And then Far Cry 5, after seeing all the trailers, I was like, oh snap, okay, you know what, I'm ready for more Far Cry. And I started playing it and I was like, I guess I'm just not into this anymore. But like
by a turkey every 5 fucking feet.
God, don't get me started on the turkeys. The DLC looked so cool for it.
What was it? I don't remember.
I also don't remember. Like I think there was like a zombie thing going on in one of them, and then there were a couple other ones, and then there was like
Are you sure you're not just thinking about Far Cry New Dawn or whatever?
No, it was definitely Far Cry 5. We said it was a spray. Was there a spray paint one? There was like, it was just a lot of interesting ideas, but by the time we got around to it, I was like, I could not care less. I don't need more of this game that already has like, a lot of content.
Dead Living Zombies, Lost on Mars.
Lost on Mars, yeah.
I vaguely remember that one. And then Hours of Darkness.
Yeah. And like they sounded cool, and then we got there, and I was like, "Is anybody playing this?" No. Okay, well,
It's got really cool key art. Hold on, let me bring them up really quick. Like the key art for these.
Oh wow, yeah, Far Cry Dead Living Zombies looks cool.
Yeah. Should we pick it up?
See what we about to go back and play Far Cry 5?
Secretly DLC of the year that nobody played, and we're like, "Ah, shit! More people should have played this." Story number 7. GameStop keeps finding new ways to rip people off.
No!
This is Ethan Gotch at Kotaku. Things have been bad at retail chain GameStop for a while now, but somehow they're about to get worse. Employee benefits are on the chopping block heading into the next year as the gaming retailer doubles down on cost cutting despite holding $1 billion in cash reserves thanks to its earlier meme stock explosion. Remember this?
Oh yeah.
Wild time.
This is where I started my financial advice segment. Don't hit the music. I'm not giving you any advice.
Did you like invest in GameStop during the time?
No, this is where it started, where I was like, you should buy it. And then if you would have done what I said, some kid was like, if you would have done like $10, you'd be a millionaire.
Yeah, it was like almost exactly a year before it all started popping off. He gave that. I remember that day.
Damn. The company's Pro membership program for customer discounts continues to slash its perks too. and staff now report that they're being told to replace new warranted products like PlayStation 5s with used ones. GameStop employees are tracked on how many warranties they get customers to buy on everything from video game discs and controllers to brand new $500 consoles. While the company has always maintained in its warranty terms that it has sole discretion over whether purchases are replaced with new, used, or refurbished merchandise, staff say new policies are requiring them to only offer used replacements and to send customers driving to other stores if they don't have the used replacements in stock. For example, you might buy a standard PS5 from GameStop for $500. The store will then try to upsell you to the 1-year replacement plan for an extra $55. If something then breaks or malfunctions with the console that's covered under warranty, GameStop will give you a used PS5, which it normally sells for $460 instead. Quote, I definitely ain't sending people to neighboring stores to waste their time, one person wrote over on the GameStop subreddit. It's such a disaster. Half the pre-owned we get is either broken or was in the home of a smoker, end quote. GameStop's recently revamped Pro memberships are also getting worse starting December 1st, based on an email seemingly from store operations specialist Brian Perez outlining new changes that was shared on the subreddit. Starting December 1st, the program's free monthly $5 coupon will no longer work for gift cards or digital goods. Welcome points benefits for new members will go down from 10,000 points, that's $10, to 5,000 points, that's $5. And renewing members will get nothing instead of that $5 that was previously offered. The annual price will remain $25, however, after it was raised from $15 earlier this year. Why are we changing the $5 monthly reward?
Yeah.
Here's the email. To improve the profitability of the Pro program.
Oh.
We want to make more money. Finally, GameSpot is taking a hatchet to employee benefits. Staff members were informed yesterday that their healthcare costs would go up in 2024, and the company would be ditching benefits like basic life insurance, accidental death and dismemberment, short and long-term disability,
These Funko Pops fell on me, my arm.
and matching 401k contributions. I don't know where to start with this. Just don't get dismembered at the job, everybody, because it's over for you. At GameStop.
It's over for GameStop, right?
For sure, it's over for
limping
GameStop.
on. These are more of the switches you throw trying to stay in the business.
Yeah, I'd be so mad if like something happened in my PS5 like week 1, and I brought it back, and they're like, "Oh man, yeah, I mean here's a used PS5 that has a fucking sun-kissed soda stain on it, and like it barely runs, but you know it's part of our new policy. I'm sorry."
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
You're on the hook.
We're GameStop.
This is the warranty. What are you gonna do?
Your only
Where are you
choice.
gonna go? Amazon? I'd like to see you try.
How long does GameStop have?
I don't know, man. This has been such an ongoing conversation, right? As you see PlayStation launching this new PlayStation 5 without a disc drive, right? Like, it is the manufacturers now really foisting this, hey, like, this is the future. Get on board with it. Get used to downloading games, blah, 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 which just puts, obviously, GameStop back and further behind the 8 ball here. Mm-hmm. So the inevitability of them, it's not even the inevitability, I guess, of brick and mortar going away. That won't happen. There will always be a Walmart that has an electronics department, even if they're just giving away slips or they're selling you like I still feel like, even if the boxed game thing shrinks to just being limited run and just being like, there's going to be places to buy game things.
Yeah.
I just don't think GameStop is going to be it. I feel like they have overextended themselves and tried to reinvent themselves and done all they were slow to pivot. They've pissed off everybody. They've done all these different things. There's just so much baggage as a corporation that I don't think they're going to be able to outrun it forever. And they're eventually going to end up like Toys R Us and just be gone. Now, Toys R Us obviously coming back in a smaller format and all these different things. Like that could happen here too, where somebody buys the brand and then does it again, and it is inside Macy's, GameStops, and things like that. But GameStop as we know it just can't exist. And of course, it's because of horrible decisions they've made I've been in the mall where there's 2 GameStops. Why are there 2 GameStops in this mall? You know what I mean? Like shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's also just the fact that the world's changing.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course,
like,
and of
it's
course.
all the above.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, like I think, in other mediums, when I think of like movies or music, right? Like when I think of the music shops, it's like
Power Records.
Yeah. Like it's record stores that are selling like, classic records, right? Like that's how I look at what video games are going to be for mom and pop stuff, right? It's like it's going to be more like the brick and mortar stuff is going to be owned locally, and it is going to be more retro stuff or like limited run things or like these special places where you're getting the stuff. But I don't think on the chain level this can work. It's the same thing as Blockbuster, where
Even as we talked about before in passing, right? For Tim, like Best Buy getting out of having 4K Blu-rays and all that jazz, right? Like, shrinking that, or at least that being the rumor I think we saw on IGN a couple weeks ago. Like, Best Buy's still gonna have a movie section. What is in there is a different conversation. You know what I mean? The same thing. There'll be a video game section because even if you eliminate boxed games, you still need controllers, you still need the unit, you still need gift cards, and those would be there. And then it is like, what are you actually selling in terms of a retail thing? So GameStop is in a losing position that I just think they have painted themselves into a corner of.
Yeah.
Where they keep making these things and these weird flair. If it hadn't been for the stock thing, right, they'd be gone already.
Yeah. I mean, the only way I can see it going for GameStop if they wanted to even attempt to save themselves would be to take that, $1 billion of money they made off the stock stuff and just totally redefine and get out of video games. You know, or like maybe try the idea they had a few years ago of being more of an experience place as opposed to like a place that's selling new physical video games, because you got to reinvent. But even if you did that, I don't see that working on a chain level in the way that GameStop has been. Like, you would have to close so many stores.
Yeah, that's to do an experience, right? You're talking about a boutique experience, and that's going to be different from mall to strip mall to whatever town you're in, right?
Yeah.
Whatever state you're in. There's going to be so many different needs and wants.
We'll see what happens at GameStop. For now, let's end the Roper Report. Story number 8, free Ghostbusters Rise of the Lord update to add 2 new game modes. This is from GhostbustersNews.com.
When I send you this stuff, I expected to go on like new dates.
I didn't know if this was like, I'm going to be on the show and I have some things to say about the new modes.
No, I'm just popping in new dates.
This was from GhostbustersNews.com, which I didn't know was a website.
Oh, dude.
Yeah?
If you want, like, let's all admit it. Shit sucks out there right now. It's fucking depressing on Twitter, on CNN, on NPR, all the shit I listen to, all the real world fucking garbage I have to hear all the time of people just being horrible and inhumane to each other and yada, yada, yada. The amount of times that I'll get the Twitter feed of like, here's an update from Ghostbusters News is posting, and I'm probably the biggest Ghostbusters fan you know. Ghostbusters News is posting multiple Ghostbusters news stories a day.
That's awesome.
All right? It comes through my Twitter feed, and I'm like, life can be so simple. You know what I mean? Life can be so fucking simple that Ghostbusters News is just keeping me up to date about this fucking thing I love.
Well, Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord is unveiled the first 2 free DLC updates. You're getting 2 new game modes. There's Heist and Seek, and then there's Infestation. Further expanding the game's pre-existing set list from the frenetic Giga Trap to the soul-saving Exorcism. The soon-to-be available additions will task recruits with new objectives while attempting to keep the streets of San Francisco ghost-free. And then, they talk about heist and seek and then Infestation.
What they are,
cool. Yeah, good for them.
We had a lot of fun playing that the VR2, PlayStation VR2 Ghostbusters stream the other week.
Yeah, and like I'm not surprised, I guess, intrigued by the fact that, like, when we're talking about a game that is being released in VR, right, like, what does that look like in terms of player base? And also the fact that for what that player base is going to be, you're supporting it with new modes.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty cool.
Go get them, man.
Greg?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what other VR games come out and support their player bases with new modes. But those game releases are just so far away. If I want to know what's coming out to mom and grab shops today, where'd I look?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Out today, we got Blasphemous 2 for PS4 and Xbox One, For the King 2 for PC,
For the King,
Played Up for PS5, Xbox Series X, and Switch, Power Wash Simulator for Quest, RoboCop Rogue City for PS5, Xbox Series X, Switch, PC, Star Ocean, The Second Story R for PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC. The Smurfs 2, The Prisoner of the Greenstone for PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. The Talos Principle 2 for PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. Thirsty Suitors for PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
Review for that up on the current Gamescast. That's about Alan Wake 2 Game of the Year.
Vampire the Masquerade Justice for PSVR 2 and Quest. Achilles Legends Untold for PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, Gangs of Sherwood for PC, PS5, Series X, and then Dead Island 2 House for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and PC.
You know, I can't wait.
For Dead Island 2 House?
Yeah. Remember, I'm telling you that Dead Island 2 House, or Dead Island 2 is at the top of my, I have Project Q, or I have PlayStation Portal, and I'm going to fucking start knocking out these stupid trophies while Jen watches something.
Good for you.
Because I'm platinum in Dead Island 2, and I'm going to play House apparently too.
The fact that we're toward the end of 2023 and you're still thinking about platinum in Dead Island 2.
Yeah.
There's a billion games that came out today.
Yeah.
And you're on Dead Island 2.
It's like, hey, it was fun for what it was.
Fair enough. New dates for you. Orton Was the Case will launch November 29th on PC and consoles. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, The Hidden Treasure of Area Zero Part 2 launches December 14th. Exoprimal Cross Monster Hunter collab starts January 18th, 2024. And then early access of The Day Before has been delayed to December 7th. We got one deal of the day for you. Thirsty Suitors is on Game Pass.
Woo!
Go check that out. Have fun. Thirst with some suitors.
4 out of 5 from Greg Miller.
Now it's time for kindafunny.com/you're wrong, where you write in and let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong, so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube and listening later on podcast services around the globe. And I'm refreshing. Do you see anything in your wrong? Because I don't see anything
Nope,
in your wrong.
that's a clean swipe.
It was a clean sweep. Killed it. Me and you.
Killed it.
Tomorrow's host for Kinda Funny Games Daily. It's gonna be a special episode. It's an IGN crossover episode featuring everybody.
That's right. So tomorrow, of course, is our extra live stream from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are raising money for the big, beautiful kids by playing games against IGN. It's Kinda Funny versus IGN. We have something like 9 IGNers coming in to hang out with us. You can already go and donate at kindafunny.com/extralife right now. Of course, we'll be playing a million games and hanging out, but it will kick off with me and Brian Altano starting an episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily. And then we expect to kind of just pass the baton, have people come out and talk about the news.
Hell yeah. Of course, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday live right here on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. Until next time, Game Daily. Now it's post-show time.
And it's a post-show party. I don't need no money. And
Andy's just taking his little time.
Yeah,
sweet
Andy's
little
doing
time.
what he always
His
does.
sweet little legs. Just slowly coming over.
I like those shoes. Where'd you get those from? Nike? Like the website? Whoa. That's cool. Somebody said, Greg, have you given any thoughts to reseeding? I think they're talking about the bracket.
No, not at all. Fuck you. Right?
Yeah.
We said what we said.
We said what we
Now
said.
you live with it. And also, Blessing seeded him. Also yell at him.
I mean, I didn't see the randomizer seeded them all.
Nope.
I put them on a website. I said, God, take the wheel. Jesus.
But you told the randomizer to randomize.
I told God and or Satan to take the wheel, and they took it and decided Spider-Man 2 and God of War Ragnarok are fight.
They must fight.
They must fight.
And it was Satan who looked at God. I was like, I got this, bro.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I got. Who do you think wins in an actual
You can
fight?
come in late. You can come.
Take Insomniac's Peter Parker versus Kratos from God of War. Who's winning a fight?
I'm sorry. Kratos versus Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Like a God versus a.
Okay, well, we watched Infinity War. Spider-Man was holding his own against Thanos.
I thought you were
he's
about to
dead.
say, who wins in a fight, Satan or God?
Me too. Me too.
I mean, who?
How much prep time do they have?
I hate that question. I hate the fucking Batman thing.
Oh, he's not
I mean,
talking about
that's just
Batman.
an
I'm talking about
ongoing-
Rat.
With prep time, Batman. Okay, well, there's no prep time. How about that?
Yeah, he just wakes. He
You don't
wakes
have
in it-
time to fucking go over your PowerPoint presentations. You know, like.
We gotta like preface the art with the premise with these two characters wake up in a UFC ring,
Yeah.
unprompted. Who wins?
Okay.
the fight?
Exactly. Welcome everybody to your super chat post show. Get your questions, comments, concerns in through your YouTube super chats, through your Twitch Prime gaming subscriptions. Remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you can tie that shit down to Twitch Prime. Give us those free $5. It costs you nothing if you're already paying for Amazon Prime, and it keeps the lights on. You know,
Chat. Who wins in
I'm
a fight?
expensive.
You are.
Who
How do you think you're buying all these new Nikes?
Are those new? Like those look
No, these are a couple months old by now.
Hell yeah.
But I'll tell you what though, it's kind of wild how much of a difference comfortable shoes feel compared to like the usual
Walking
Air
around and
Maxes
you're
I
all-
might
you're all
wear.
wear it out.
Yeah, when I wear like my normal Air Maxes or the stuff that's like kind of like Nike Dunk adjacent, and then you buy really comfortable running shoes, you're like, oh, that's why they're $70 more.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why like those $60 clearance Air Maxes were $60 clearance because they kind of just hurt your feet. And then running shoes that are meant to make your
Support.
foot, support everything. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's why they're so expensive, Bless. They feel really good.
Damn, I might need to
Yeah.
try expensive shoes.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you.
Usually I
What
just
are you
get mine
rocking?
at Ross.
Oh, Ross.
Yeah, $20.
Next time you're there, look for they're doing an Ecto 1 monster truck. I want to get it for.
Oh,
Ben,
really?
But I haven't swung by.
Okay, well, I'll keep an eye on it. I'm
Thank
at
you.
Ross surprisingly often.
Okay,
I
look
like
for it,
Ross a
please.
lot.
Mara with a $5 super chat
Hey, shout out Mara.
says, Invincible tonight at 9. Hype. Will we get screencast breakdowns for this season? It's a Tim question. And
I have an answer for you.
probably not.
Yeah, probably not. I think what we're doing is going to do one at the end of all 4 episodes for the first half of the season,
Okay.
rather than try
Nice
to do
little
something week to week.
mid-season check-in.
Yeah.
Thank you to Paper for 30 months of resubscription with Prime.
I want to rile up chat real quick. Who wins in a fight between Batman and Kratos? Discuss. All right, keep going. Batman with prep time.
With prep time,
With
yeah.
prep time.
He was able to like Wikipedia what Norse, what Greek gods do. Cosmos, 2 years of subscription, says, hi. Hello, Cosmos. Thank you for subscribing for 2 years. Not even with Prime, just with, tier 1. Al Tribesman the Predator, 9 months of resubscription. We got
Cena Bala in chat is the brave one who says Batman. Freebie also says Batman.
Man, fucking
Idiots.
stupid. So stupid. Dankazoid, 16 months of resubscription. Thank you, Dankazoid. It's base tofu using Prime for 9 months.
9 months.
We
of
made ourselves a little Prime gaming baby. Gorms, subscribe for the very, very, very first month. Thank you for joining the Kinda Funny community, Gorms. Using your Prime on us. Sergotron, 41 months. We got Shasalai, $2 super chat. Asks, think Konami will remake Tokimemo, an OG dating sim?
No.
Probably not.
Wait, what is that?
I don't know. Part of me was like, am I getting got right now with like a D's nuts joke?
Okay,
Sure.
for a second, it's so funny because right before this episode, when we're not live, I was talking about Tim Rogers' video essays, and he has a video essay about like a classic game from the 90s that might have been Konami. I forget who published it, but the game is called Tokimeki. So for a second, I thought that's what they were talking about, and I almost freaked out because I was
Like, how did you hear our conversation?
You know,
You're in my brain. We got Overly Jammy, 29 months of tier 1 subscription, asks, hey guys.
Hi.
Thank you for everything.
No
when do
problem.
you guys think the first DLC for Alan Wake 2 will come out?
that is what they're talking about. That's insane. They must have heard. First DLC for Alan Wake.
What month are we in right now? November?
Right now you're in
November,
November.
I'd say
They're trying to get
I'd
New
say
Game
June.
Plus out the door first. They've talked about that, and that nightmare difficult. I'd expect that by the end of the year. Have they confirmed that, chat? I forget what they said on that.
I mean, I would guess March. Like maybe March and then June
for like a
DLC.
story DLC or
First,
like a
yeah,
chunky?
like because they've announced 2 chunky DLCs.
Huh. I'm gonna say June. I'm gonna go ahead and say June.
See, I think that's too far out. I think it's going to be that first half of the year there. That's
But if I want to know what Mama Grappa doing in the back in the back seat. What y'all doing back there?
Tokimeki Memorial is Tokimemo. Okay, that makes sense.
Lorenzo Flores with a $2 super chat over on YouTube. Go to alcoholic drink.
Ooh.
Great question.
So I'm a cider over beer person. I know I'm basic,
My
but
guy.
I like it.
My guy.
Live your life, man.
If we're talking about like cocktails, I like an old fashioned, and I think that might just be from listening to Kinda Funny.
Sure, you're
and
welcome.
adopting those tendencies. But yeah, I like an old fashioned. I also like a Moscow Mule, specifically if they have the copper cup.
You gotta have
If
the
you don't have
gotta
the
have
copper cup, then just give me
It's
an old fashioned.
basically an ingredient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gregory?
If I'm in a beer mood, I'm going to want a Pliny the Elder. If I'm in a cocktail mood, I'm going to do a dirty Pliny the Elder.
That sounds like a band.
It does. Yeah, I agree with that. And a cocktail, I'd want a dirty vodka martini.
Ooh.
What about you,
Ooh.
Tio?
I'd order Blessing one, and he would try to get through it for 2 seconds.
Yeah. I do like a what do they call it? Espresso martini. Especially if I'm feeling tie.
A what?
An
Espresso martini. Yeah. Like martini with coffee.
So like a fancy Four Loko.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's kind of, I've never heard of that. I didn't
Really?
even know
You're
that
gonna
was a
have a heart
thing.
Oh,
attack.
Damn,
dude.
you got to go out.
It'll change your life. It's incredible.
You go out, you get COVID.
Because now
So-
I'm drunk and awake. It's great.
I'm
The
not trying-
ironic thing is you got COVID at home.
I'm not trying to go down for the count again. I love a
By
cider.
the way, Barrett, congratulations on your win yesterday in the Battle of COVID for KFW.
Oh, did I win?
You did. You beat Andy's ass.
Battle of COVID.
I mean, I was stronger beforehand, and
We
now
have a
that we're
test
on the
to-
other side, I'm still stronger.
Yesterday's KFW, instead of a test of strength, we had a test of COVID to see who came back stronger. And at the very end, Barrett debuted his new
Were you
finishing
kinda-
move, the vaccine. And
Were you
beat
kind of
Andy.
shocked though that he won? Because like I was like, surely this invisible stamina meter on Barrett is just like all the way down. Because I felt like I was dominating most of the match.
That's how that's how it is.
Could you imagine doing that in like June 2020?
You should see my
I
intro.
feel like that would destroy the company.
You should see my intro to it, where I talk about COVID and the dark
God.
times to then get to the fight.
I like a good Kolsch. That's my
Ah,
go-to
that's a
beer.
good
That's
beer.
my
That's a
go-to
good beer.
beer, and then
Kolsch is opening up for Pliny the Ender.
Yeah,
Elder.
exactly. And then they're going on their German Ireland tour soon. And then, yeah, a mixed drink, I would go with a Moscow Mule. I don't
Moscow Mules are
really
so
like
good.
cocktails and mixed drinks and stuff.
I love a good cider as well. I love going somewhere.
Do you have a favorite cider?
Dude, here's the thing. I just love. I kind of go for ciders in the way that I go for energy drinks. If I see a flavor combination or just a flavor or some sort of fruit that I'm like, oh man, that sounds kind of good. Whether I go to a place and they're like, hey, we got our new seasonal like pear cider. I was like, ooh, that could be good. Or like grapefruit or whatever the hell. I love cider.
Dude, Ace-
Once every couple of months, Andy, I'll just open the fridge and there'll just be a bunch of ciders. Like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, dude.
It's a special occasion. It's
Ace-
usually like a charity stream I do.
Ace cider has a guava flavor that chef's kiss. Probably my favorite cider.
And then I love margaritas, spicy margaritas, and Moscow Mules as well. Thank you for your $2 super chat.
Somebody in chat said Long Island iced teas. And I just want to let you know you are living on the edge.
I don't think
You're
I've
bad.
ever had a Long Island iced tea, but I know it's like 19 alcohols in one.
Yeah, like that was like one of the first drinks I had ordered because I didn't know what I was doing, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool, and I ordered it, and I don't remember what happened after.
That was my follow-up.
You woke up here, you worked here.
I was like, oh, kind of funny. All right, cool.
We got Bryce Eden, $2 super chat. Modern Warfare 3 listed as DLC for PS5. I don't know what that means.
Modern Warfare 3 listed as DLC, like DLC
I'm
for
sure
Modern
that's
Warfare
just-
2.
Modern Warfare 3 is the one that's about to come out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he's saying it got listed on PlayStation Store as DLC, maybe, which is just a factory error, you know?
Yeah.
We're playing it after this with a sponsored NVIDIA stream.
There's no
Playing
plat
through
on
the
Modern Warfare
campaign.
3.
Very excited for it.
Is there anybody is there nobody starring in the campaign? I feel like usually I was like, oh, it's Kevin Spacey or Kit Harington or this is happening, and I just feel like I've heard nothing about
Michael
the campaign.
Cera.
Dude, that'd be fucking awesome. He's got that little shitty mustache he grows, and he's just being horrible.
That machine gun, like, hey man.
It's always Captain Price.
No-
Nitro.
No story that
No.
you care about? Okay.
Nitro 39 with a $5 super chat. You guys talked a lot about Marvel. If DC were to give out their IP, what games would you want?
Great question.
A Batman game? That'd
Yeah.
be cool. That'd be
Yeah.
kind of nice.
Yeah.
We've had enough of them.
I would do a Batman
It's been
Beyond
8
game,
years.
right? Do a Batman Beyond game, and I would
Yes.
set that in the Arkham universe rather than
Yes.
this Suicide Squad shit. I would want a Superman game, as you all know. I don't think it's impossible to do a Superman game. I know many people disagree with me on that. So if I got in there and everybody wanted to shit on me that way, I would push for a Telltale style Superman game where I just make decisions. It's not about that, because I think there's a lot of fun stuff you could do of, you know, try to save Lex or save Lois or this or that, and like actually have it not be dark and gritty, but there would be repercussions to not being able to do everything, right?
Lois is trying to bang right now, and it's your anniversary, but little Jimmy's drowning in the river.
Sorry, Jimmy.
See you later, Jimmy.
I'm sure there'll be a Black Lantern ring that'll bring you back to life soon enough. I don't need to worry
About
about
to
that
shoot
shit.
this rope.
I did a Google search of dumbest DC characters because I was gonna answer like have you seen
Just look at James Gunn's like list of shit, right? He's always excited.
have
about
you,
his
like
films.
I don't know if you've seen like the TikToks or whatever of people being like, oh yeah, if the genie asked me for one wish, I would wish to increase rent for like single mothers or something like that, right? Like people who are like, I want to do the worst thing possible.
That's awful.
Listen, I'm not saying
Hey,
it.
he's not
What's
saying
wrong
it.
with
It's these
people?
TikTok
not
kids.
him.
I'm just reporting what I'm seeing on TikTok, all right?
But I like to imagine like, you know, I wake up one day and like I'm in this magic scenario where DC and games companies approach me and they're like, you get to choose one DC hero that everybody's asking for to make a DC game. And this is
Gotcha, I
the
see
next
what you're
one. And I'm like, oh yeah, give me a Gnort game. I don't know who.
It looks like a Green Lantern,
Oh, yeah.
Lantern Corps guy.
And I see you're not that far off. Is that I think Green Lantern could be a fun game to do too.
I think that would be an awesome game.
Yeah.
Especially just like when we're talking about the different spells that you could kind of like
Else?
magic, whatever the
Sorry.
fuck.
Magic?
What do you-
Hard light constructs is what he's making with the Green Lantern ring.
Get it
right?
together.
It could be a cool,
Grow
and
up.
I understand this
I
is
played
poison.
Hyperlight Drifter with Hardlighter in it.
I understand this is poison, but it could be a fun multiplayer game too. It could be a fun like games as a service. You know what I mean? You get a whole bunch of different. You make your own Green Lantern, and you go out and you do fucking missions together.
As soon as they ask me that question, I'm gonna be like, give me a Kite Man game. I'm sure that's all they
yeah.
want. A Kite
Reference
Man.
for you.
And give it to the best developer of all time to do it.
Arturo Tron Robo Bartender with a $5 super chat. Will Kinda Funny Games Daily finally admit that Snowbike Mike was robbed in the games draft? Give him Baldur's Gate 3, justice for Mike.
No, Mike doesn't understand the fucking rules of the games draft. Just because he keeps saying it over and over again doesn't make it real.
Also, you know what? Give him Baldur's Gate 3. What is it going to change?
He's still
Nothing.
gonna be in fourth place. He'll somehow go down to 5th place like by some miracle.
He'll somehow get below Gary, who has not touched the fantasy draft and has like 20 points.
CJ Splits on $2 super chat. Will we get Stellar Blade next year? Why'd you just laugh like that?
Because I want to say, because I want to say yes, but as soon as I say yes, like some fucked up shit's gonna happen, or they cancel it. I don't know.
So we're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
say yes. Yes.
Will it come out before? What's that one game?
Hollow, Silk Song.
No, that one game that we always thought was like a Kojima style game.
Oh, Abandoned?
It's Abandoned.
No. The one that was like very sort of futuristic looking sci-fi. Little girl with a big robot.
Where they said like, we're sorry.
It sounds like Automata. Like
Oh.
Bioshock.
Oh, Pragmata?
Pragmata.
Oh, yeah, we get it before Pragmata. I don't think Pragmata exists.
What a great way to announce a delay, though. Remember when it was like the
I do
little
remember
post-it
that.
note
They just
and
showed
a
up
sad
the game.
face?
They're like, by the way, man.
Fuck, it's over. Sorry.
Dan Cook, 33 months.
The comedian?
Huh?
The comedian?
Dan Cook?
Dane Cook. That's Dane Cook.
That's pretty good. 33 months of Prime. Thank you for using your Prime on us. Remember, you got the Amazon Prime. You got Twitch Prime. Throw that sucker this way. I'll catch it. Matthew Morales with a $2 super chat. Bless, have you hopped on Halo yet?
No, my friends hit me up again last night to play some Halo, but I was too busy playing some Alan Wake 2.
Did you beat it? Because I know you said you were close.
No, I'm on the literally the final thing. I'm pretty sure. I just got done with a big sequence. It's pretty cool. A lot of reveals just happened.
Wow.
Yeah. Turns out everything's not as you seem.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It isn't a straightforward adventure.
I thought it was so straightforward.
So the rom-com.
Yeah.
65 months from Mr. Anderson with Prime. Andy, if Greg bit you on the neck like a vampire, how would you react?
But I wrap my lips around my teeth, so you're not getting teeth.
You're just gumming me?
And it's also like,
It's more of an open mouth kiss.
and it's also unprompted. You're just at your desk, and then you just feel a mouth on your neck, and you're like, oh, what is this?
Does that mean that I eventually turn into a Miller?
No. This is very real.
A Van Miller.
Prepare for your neck to be gummed. I don't know how I would react. I might quit. Like if it got to that, you know, like
I would quit if I felt his tongue. Like if no tongue.
that's the only stipulation.
Yeah, like even if it was an accident, if I accidentally feel Greg's tongue on my neck, I'm gone. You'll never see me again in this
That's
industry.
Yeah, you would see a Jason Schreier report immediately the next morning from like anonymous sources that Kind of Funny say that someone was bitten the neck yesterday.
If there was no tongue, then I might come back like the week after. I might take some days off. But
We got Break NY Creative or Break Night Creative, another first monther. Thank you for using your Prime on us. Thank you for believing in us.
Acknowledge.
I hope you continue to throw that Prime my way, and I'll catch it a little short. I'll throw it to first. Rangers win the World Series. The Brewmaster, 11 months, almost a full year of subscription. Thank you, Brewmaster.
somebody says I want to see that apology video, and I started like going through it in my head of what a Greg Miller apology video would be like, and like. You know, you've done like serious, like, you know, videos and stuff, and I know that tone from you, but you've also done enough of those where it turns into a joke.
Yeah. Honestly, when you said it out loud, I was like, we should just record it as a joke. Put it up. Barry, give me the one. And then like you have to imagine that you'll know exactly where I'm going, all right? But it'll be like one of these like I don't even know where to start.
Never
And
thought.
then you show you jump cut to whatever, like, hey,
Never thought
everybody,
we'd
it's
be
me,
here.
Greg, and like,
It's just a screenshot from the security footage. Of Greg and on my neck.
you know, I've been known to push the envelope. I'm a bit of an auteur, and I had some bad advice. I thought I could bite my employees.
I listened to a dream last night.
And what I didn't expect was they wanted the teeth. I thought wrapping my lips around my teeth would be pretty good. But no, they're still pretty pissed. So I'd like to invite everyone to come back to the office. I won't bite you.
11 months from the Brewmaster says, I'm the cider maker at a new cidery. Ooh,
cider.
cidery sounds cool.
That sounds really
In
cool.
Auburn, California, called Ponderosa Cider. Swing by on the way to Tahoe, or we should be selling in the Bay soon. Ooh. I mean, I'm down to like get some
He's
cans.
in Auburn, California.
Auburn, yeah.
See how long the drive is.
On the way to Tahoe? Maybe thinking an hour 40.
Is that where it is?
Probably not.
Work. Oof.
2 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But, that's with traffic right now. You drive at 3 a.m., you should be good.
I mean, the only traffic really is like when we get across the bridge to Emeryville, there's a little bit of traffic. But aside from that, it's all blue.
Dude with 6 cats subscribing for almost 2 years, 23 months. Thank you, Dude with 6 cats. Does Greg watch anime? If not, if Greg were open to it, where should he start to give anime a shot?
Do I look like a successful individual? The answer, yes. Of course I don't watch anime. You kidding me?
Duh.
Unless we count,
Exactly.
we count My Adventures of Superman, because that's got like an anime style to
No,
it.
it's not
No.
anime.
Okay, then no, I watch cool cartoons, not loser. Hey, we're 13, but we're all getting erections and those little things on our face to show we're horny and woo 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 woo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're all such fucking PC perverts.
I love that part.
How many body pillows you got today, Bless?
I love that part of Death Note. Where he gets all horny.
I tried to get him into My Hero 4 years ago. He
We
was
were
like,
drunk as
this
shit.
is cool. And then never went back to it.
If I had to recommend one anime to Greg Miller, which he probably wouldn't like anyway, I would say Dragon Ball Z. Because it's just Superman.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing with My Hero. It's literally like Superman training Spider-Man to become the next Superman.
But it's 13-year-old boners all over the place.
Yeah. That's my thing is
of
Goku's
course.
an adult who acts like a child, but like,
you ever read Purry Purry, the manga? A lot of boners in that, I'll tell you what.
Never heard.
This poor priest, why has he got to be around all these girls?
did you look that up or did you already know?
Oh
what that
no,
was?
I have many collections.
Oh, wow.
I inherited Hillary's comic collection at IGN, and there was a whole bunch in there. And so whenever Clements would talk about anime, I'd bring up Purry
God, I'm just imagining like the son discovering his dad's porn, like underneath like a cabinet or whatever, but instead of Playboy, it's just this weird manga. Like little Ben's like, man, I had no idea my dad was a weirdo.
Someone in chat, I lost it. Mr. Anderson says, I do think you would be into Edge Runners, Greg, on Netflix.
Edge Runners are very
Edge
good.
Runners is really good.
Yeah.
Resolute $5 super chat. Just finished Spider-Man 2018 for the first time, and what a treat it was to finally be able to listen to the spoiler cast. Also, give Mike Baldur's Gate 3. Give it to him.
I don't care.
Logan Jensen, $10 super chat. Thank you,
Mike is on
Logan.
solo streams is ranting about this. Is this
It
what's
sounds
happening?
like it. It sounds like
He
it.
just did a
He does this
solo
all the
stream
time.
yesterday where he beat Kingdom Hearts, so he probably ranted about it for a while.
Logan
You'll never
Jensen
rant about
says,
this in front of us. 'Cause
Greg,
he hates confrontation. Say it to my face, Mike.
I'm giving Kinda Funny $10 for you to admit that KU is better.
No, not true.
Make
I wouldn't
it-
lie for $10.
KU is better. I'll say it.
No, you wouldn't.
I just did. I don't know if you noticed. We got Evan Irv with a $5 super chat. Greg, if you want to win Fantasy Critic League, add Warhammer Rogue Trader to your list. It's made by Owlcat, the indie dev to Larian's AAA. Man, Greg is Googling faster than he's ever Googled before. He's
Wait,
about to add
Owlcat?
this. Owlcat is a studio.
Oh, I know Owlcat.
Okay, this is a good one. This is gonna pop off with the reviews. We think.
We'll see.
Owlcat, we create CRPGs.
Manic Pixel with a $5
Oh, yeah, they
super
did
chat.
Pathfinder.
Just want to shout out Andy's cool hair. Also, I'm enjoying his Alan Wake series. Thank you, Manic Pixel. I had to cut it extra because I had the Cyberpunk cut and it was like a little too straight.
I also got a haircut, but nobody commented.
Well, I commented yesterday.
We commented yesterday
Oh,
on
not
Feud.
you. I'm talking
Oh,
about
okay.
the chat.
Well, because they haven't seen you from the side.
That's true. I did have to turn.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good cut.
We're on Kinda Feudy yesterday. I was very confused. I felt like I was high because I was like, oh,
You felt
Blessing,
like you were
Blessing got
high.
a haircut from the side view. And I would look at the confidence monitor. I'm like, it doesn't look like you got a haircut there. Am I watching the real Blessing right now? Like, I just couldn't tell what was happening. Thank you, Manic
Thank
Pixel,
you,
for your
Chad.
$5. Hummus, 30 months of resubscription at Tier 1. Alaka Champ, 19 months. If all
Boom
this
shakalaka!
if all this vampire talk doesn't lead to Greg necking Nick on the next Kinda Funny podcast, I'm going to be disappointed.
We talked about maybe doing it to Tim tomorrow on Extra Life.
Yeah.
Remember when you started off a podcast by just showing Nick a picture of you and your bare ass?
Yeah, my nude. my
Nick,
nude.
Nick was like, "Oh my god,
Bare
that's your ass."
Was there? I never saw the final picture, and I don't want to see the picture.
No one's seen
Well,
the final picture.
I drew
other than
it.
Nick. Yeah.
Was there a
Andy
hole?
drew it.
Or was it?
No,
cracked?
there's no hole. There's
Okay.
no hole.
Too much
It was
shadow.
very
It
tasteful.
was very like artist interpretation sort of thing. TS251, 3 years of support.
TS251.
What is each of y'all's favorite movie of all time? I got a little frog I'm trying to choke back.
Ghostbusters.
It's either Spirited Away or Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Andy?
It's so hard to say. It's always like either Saving Private Ryan or Goodfellas.
Day After Tomorrow?
The End of the World movie?
I'm trying to guess yours. I was
gotcha.
talking as your third one.
Gotcha.
Dennis Quaid, Jake Gyllenhaal. They almost burned the Bible, remember?
I don't ever know if I saw it because I always get that one mixed up
They
with
support Jack Quaid.
the guy from
Goonies.
High
Astin.
Fidelity.
Oh, John Cusack.
Yeah, doesn't he have a disaster movie?
Yeah, of course.
I think that was the 2012 one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a favorite movies, just in general.
Yeah.
Birdman.
I remember 2012.
Birdman, yeah.
Remember when we thought the world was going to end in 2012? What a crazy
Oh.
I
time.
do.
And then Macho Man saved us, right? That's the one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tommy Goodale, $5 super chat. You're on a road trip and you have enough money for one drink and one snack at the gas station. What do you get?
One drink.
I don't know why.
Brisk lemonade.
Here's what I'm saying. If I'm driving, that means I need like a big caffeine energy boost, right? Which I would have gotten anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Mountain Dew Code Red
Oh wow! Holy shit!
for the Bev.
I mean, I want to say beef jerky. 'Cause I feel like
wow.
that's the only appropriate time to get beef jerky is when you're on a road trip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if I'm partying doggy dog, like I would probably get a water if I'm being honest. But let's just say I'm not being lame. I'll get a cherry Coke. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And then I would get a Twinkie.
I didn't know you rocked
I like
that way.
Twinkies,
I
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were chill like that.
Yeah. I like going for goldfish crackers because
Delicious.
as much as I love Flamin' Hots, not great for the road.
Sure.
They just leave a lot of residue,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to drive with like chopsticks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Nightlife, $5 super chat. Superhero horror crossover genre game, the Black Lantern Saga. You get to include multiple heroes.
Amazing.
Andy, read some comic books. Greg and Bless, you are great. Reading is a lot though, man.
Thank you.
Reading is
Teen Titans would be a dope superhero game that I would want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which version are you picking? You doing like Teen Titans Go or just Teen Titans or like
Teen
just
Titans, like
a
the
Teen
original,
Titans
the
thing?
original Cartoon Network run.
Okay.
Like,
cool.
Yeah, just give me that style. I don't know who'd make it, but you know what? Fuck it. I'll even take a reinterpreted like original Teen Titans. I don't care. I just want those 5.
Style Gym, 32 months. Great haircut, Blessing.
Thank
There
you.
it is.
Thank
you for your 30 months of support. Talos New Group, 44 months. Arturo Tron, Robo Bartender, with another $5 super chat. Thank you for your generosity. Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader has been in early access for almost a year, disqualified on the Snowbike Mike rule.
Got it.
And the final super chat. Thank you, everybody, for supporting us here. Kinda Funny, for keeping the lights on. We appreciate you all and your generosity. Echo, I'm assuming, $2 super chat, says, Greg, you should watch the anime Pluto. Good and short.
There you go.
It looks really nice based on what I've seen of Pluto. The art style looks fantastic. And I lied. We got one more. It says, what's up, KF crew? Have you seen the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes trailer? Never have, Jonch, but thank you for your 22 months of support.
Roger saw it.
We'll be right back with we're playing Call of Duty.
Whoa.
Modern Warfare 3 sponsored stream, sponsored by NVIDIA, showing off DLSS, showing off frame generation, all that jazz. So join us in the lab right after this.